ground is not only a surface on which buildings are erected, but more importantly, an intellectual construct that instigates a datum for spatial perception and navigation. To critically evaluate the spatial premises of ground, an architectural element is needed, feasible to support the reconceptualization of relationships. One such architectural element is the retaining wall. Designed to resist the lateral pressure of soil, the retaining wall is an architectural mediator between over and underground. All too often processing only the loads of soil, the concept of retaining wall generally fails to encapsulate a higher complexity in form and content arrangement.
By choosing the retaining wall as a heuristic device to activate the students' research on the city, what we did was to really hit head-on the very important relationship that exists between architecture and identity, which I think is a very important theme. We were able to activate a very interesting synergy between us as a foreign professionals and the students, and they were forced basically to investigate and tell us what they found relevant about their city. By picking the retaining wall as this iconic device, almost a machine for creating knowledge, I think they were able to investigate aspects of their city that maybe they take for granted. And I think that it's really important for an architect to, in this case, young designers, the architects of the future, to be able to find motives of inspiration and also catalyzers for their design.
We asked them first to start with sketch models and in a smaller scale, and then we asked them almost immediately to move into the scale 1:1. And by doing that, they will occur a lot of challenges, and these challenges are transformed into opportunities to enhance the design or part of the design and to develop it further.
By using the bamboo, that is a material that is pretty ubiquitous in Hong Kong to build scaffolding for high rises. It was also a way to connect them to their culture and give them also the opportunity to work in one-to-one scale with a real material and integrate into their design something that they don't get to experience when they work on scaled models, which is basically dealing with matters of gravity, structure, and joineries.
Nice thing about it is that we always have these kind of cultural implications with the people. So we always, wherever we do these kind of workshops, we implicate the culture and include the communication of this culture. So this for us as teachers and for the students is always a very nice experience to have.
I think this kind of beautiful the conceptual model is quite interesting, and I have never this kind of before.
The idea behind this workshop was very much to improve the critical qualities of the students. I mean, it's getting increasingly important for academics as well as professionals to be able to, to both think and act critically. And the way we were approaching this fact was that we contextualized ourselves in the discourse of experimental architecture to use experiment to kind of trigger the critical thinking for the students that participated in the workshop.
So I think the workshop was a really good experience because you don't get to do this everywhere, right? I mean, it's like somehow you're working a scaffold. Like we're architecture students, and then we never get the chance to cut or use a saw like this. And look at me, what am I doing now? And in terms of architecture experience, I think the abstract thinking is really nice.
What we did here was on two levels. We were exploring a vehicle, like the urban situation that they got, the students, and the second thing is to explore a method they can use also in the future. Implication of these methods is the following. They have to learn in teams, to work in teams. They have to accept that there is a dramatic change from the traditional architectural process, which is an additive way of thinking. That means analyzing, project phase and building phase, so everything will interact in a new way, and that's what we explore in this short moment in 2 days with all these students.
This is quite useful for an architect to derive this concept from a model, so this will be like how an architect designs. So we will do a very conceptual model and then we look into the small spaces.
And finally, a very important objective of this workshop from the very beginning was to create this verticality among the students, to have first year students to interact and work with all the other years of the curriculum. So I think we, for the first time here at ZHU, first year students, were working together with fourth year students, PhD students, 3 and second year students, and all came together in this kind of creative force that bridged all these kind of traditions separated.